everyone, and welcome back to the Right Mortgage Network's Insights podcast. I'm Victoria Clark, Head of Lending at the network. Today, I'm with you on our network's very own Opportunities podcast, and I'm very pleased to be joined by Amy Wilson, our Head of Insurance, making her debut on the podcast.
Hi, thank you, Victoria. It was hard for you to convince me to come on, but I'm really looking forward to the conversation.
No, I'm really glad to have you on it. Thank you for taking the time out. And with this opportunity to have both of us product heads on the podcast, I wanted to do something slightly different and have a discussion about the year so far. We want to share with you what we are seeing across lending and insurance, go through how our teams have evolved, and why focus advice is such a huge focus this year.
And we also want to take the opportunity to go into what advisors are experiencing on a day-to-day basis, because it's definitely an interesting market at the moment across the board, not just where we say in the mortgage space.
That's it, definitely. Working together is so strong for us in the network. But Amy, can you kick us off, please? If you had to describe the market so far than this year in a few words, what would you say?
So it has been a difficult market. However, it has been a resilient market. It's evolved and it's increasingly focused towards mortgage advisors doing everything they can with consumer duty, protection, GI, that whole bit around what we do, and kind of really going back to that, let's call it an older school advisor that goes and speaks to their client and they speak to them about everything and they become part of their family, and therefore get recommended time and time again. There's definitely still a level of customer uncertainty out there, whether that's around affordability, household costs, the wider economy. But what we're seeing at TRM is actually that uncertainty is driving more meaningful conversations. Customers are much more aware now of the importance of protecting their homes, their families, their lifestyles than they were even a few years ago. And we can only accredit mortgage advisors to that, because we're seeing more customers engage openly around life, income protection, home insurance, and private medical insurance, which is a new and growing area for TRM. Protection as a whole has grown strongly this year for TRM as well, with written business being up 34% on last year. PMI's also been a particularly strong year for us. We've already mentioned that. We're actually up 67% on written business, and that was on a really strong year last year. And then the other kind of big, more blooming area in the mortgage advisor space being the GI. We're seeing a big impact on the rising premiums across the market, which is naturally increasing the difficulty for advisors talking about it. However, what we have found that those that are talking about it are converting, and that is really where we're demonstrating the importance of advice and sustainability and the long-term protection planning. So as a network, since 2022, we've increased our whole GI book of business by 66%. So it's a never-ending market. And overall, despite these challenges, the market does seem proactive. And it feels like advisors are adapting and clients are engaging more than we've seen before, especially with that central part of the protection journey.
That's all really, really interesting. I think as well at a time where it has been a really turbulent year and there's just been a lot going on. I think advisors really showing their worth and going above and beyond by looking at not just mortgages is so important as well. And from a lending perspective, we've seen similar things as well. We've discussed as well a few times already on this on the podcast this year that we thought this year was actually it was going to be chilled, nice start to the year. There wasn't any things that are curveballs that were going to come our way. But obviously everything that did happen with Trump just also had a massive impact in how advisors acted. But to still keep going and to still have improved levels of insurance business across the board is so positive in that area. But lending itself is again up another 20% this year already, which last year was a massively record-breaking year for us. So it's so exciting for the network to be in this place of such a great opportunity for our advisors. And all I can say is a big congratulations to you all as well, that it's all come from you and your continued hard work to show up for your customers, even with the more questions and more reassurance that's needed. The customer activity has been so strong and advisors have gone above and beyond to help their customers.
Definitely. I think customers are also thinking a lot more long term. Protection conversations are slightly different to where they were a few years ago. They're feeling a lot more relevant. What's particularly impressive is how advisors have adapted to that shift. Advisors are moving away from that purely transactional conversation. Instead, they're delivering that holistic advice. And I know everyone that's probably listened to this podcast before, anybody that's been to any TRM events, know how much we promote that holistic advice. But where we've been talking about it and we've seen advisors adopt it over the last couple of years, in these type of markets, they're the ones that are going to flourish, and they're the ones that are going to really cement their business in their communities, whatever community that will be. And ultimately, advisors are having those broader conversations and continuing to see the growth. So as a network, we're really growing to those targets that we set last year, which puts us on track for being 20% up on 2025. Victoria, what do you think has been the key drive to this year?
For me, it's probably how quickly specialist lending conversations have become normal. Complex income, later life lending, self-employed customers. Advisors are handling far more specialist cases than they have been before. Customers aren't vanilla, especially those coming up to their 5-year fixes at the moment, which is a booming time than ever been before, the most PTs that have ever come up. So it's literally this difference from 5 years ago to now is crazy. So with this hard work means less going out the door as well for you advisors. So if by us seeing the growth of this, it means you are really getting a handle on it. We also launched this year as well the right packager. So that's something where advisors are making the most of. If they just genuinely don't have the time, or maybe they're just really not sure about looking into these specialist areas, you can refer it on and look into that. But there's things like L&G Mortgage Club launching their specialist lending academy this year as well. So much out there to be able to help advisors make the most of their customers and really help them in getting to know them. We also know, even with the market uncertainty, like I say, the remortgage business is at an all-time high. So people need to stay in their houses, and the use of a broker is imperative more than ever.
Do you think that that's why advisors are becoming more specialist in kind of specific areas because the market is demanding it?
Yes, absolutely. I think generalist advice still matters, but increasing customer need is really, really important. And it's but being able to be there as an advisor this year has really demonstrated how important it is. So how have you found that with the specialist lending side of things? Do you think that's positively affected the numbers in insurance?
I mean, even if you take the what probably is the least specialist mortgage broker, where we're looking at the buy to lets, where if you think buy to let only takes up what 30% of the market, we've seen if you take landlords, rent guarantee products, thinking about landlords' protection and the wider opportunities that you've got there. Do they own companies? How are they putting their protection in place? What are they doing for it? So these buy to let specialists are really thinking outside of that. I'm a buy-to-let specialist and I'm just going to look at your mortgage. And we're seeing them think about that whole picture, whether it's them wanting to do it themselves or if they want to refer it to another protection specialist. They've got that ability to be able to think about it. And that's really where I'm proud of as a network and our advisors, what we've been doing this year.
No, I really do think as much like just to kind of summarize all of that, like well done everybody, like great work. Thank you for all of the hard work you do. Hopefully we're there for you to be able to support. But another thing that's been a massive part of this year that started off last year as well is the development of our teams to help you do exactly that and to really keep flourishing in these different areas. The network now more than ever has so much support for advisors. It has been really important to both of us to make sure we have the right people in the development teams across mortgages, lifetime mortgages, protection, and PMI insurance. I know all of our listeners have had great relationships with each product manager as well, and they are so keen to hear from you all and are all going to be at least one of our roadshows as well that are happening this month. So please make sure you go and say hello. Personally, I'm so impressed with the collaboration work with all of them and the work they have been doing with the advisors. I know you feel the same about this, Amy, but what has been a big learning for you with developing our teams?
I really enjoy how much everyone's working together. And actually, I think sometimes it can be so easy to get stuck in your silo. It can be so easy to think, I just think about protection and that's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to help you with. But what's just amazing about me and Victoria are obviously sisters and we work very well together. We've worked together
For those who didn't know.
for those that didn't know. So we've worked together very closely over the past 10 years outside of our personal relationship. And we wanted to build that in as part of our team. We wanted everyone to kind of get along, help each other, and really kind of build that community spirit. And you take someone like Robin, if she's talking to one of her advisors about maybe it is specialist lending, maybe it's not something so specialist, maybe it is just a thatched roof or an unusual build type. She's there and she can then talk about GI with the advisor, and that advisor can then go and speak to Sandra, and Sandra and Robin are working together to be able to build that. So yeah, it's lovely, and it's been difficult to get here, but it's really worth it. And now the team are all working very well together.
Yeah, I completely agree as well. And the technical knowledge, which they all have, and it's very important, but attitude and communication are huge. Like Amy just said then, like we really do care about how people feel when they're talking to a staff within the network. And I think definitely in our product team, we're so lucky with that. Like they all really carry that thoughtful, caring nature whilst also really understanding how to help you strive in your businesses. So it's been great to have them all part of the team, hasn't it?
It has. It's been a really great year. And you can teach products, you can teach process, but you can't teach mindset and attitude. And that's where our teams, the products team, really are doing what they can this year for advisors. So
And the two of us as well both started as specialist areas. So yours being private medical insurance, mine being lifetime mortgages. Our specialist areas of the network have been so important as well, and we've really developed them as a network to have access to these specialist areas is so unique, and for them to be so caring to us. And we've been really lucky with our equity release team that's been in place for a few years now, and there really are advisors who have been a part of that, been a part of the growth, and we've got given it that dedicated time with the team. You now have your lovely new addition as well to the private medical team. So how's that all going on that side of things?
yeah, so Gemma joined us in January, and Gemma has embedded well into the team. I'm sure everybody will admit the team being the advisors, actually, not necessarily even our team. She holds her own. She does fantastic things, thinking outside the box, where our knowledge before potentially actually was more around the products, the process. Gemma's brought this different type of knowledge, and that's from the insurer side, where she's understood genomics and the way that claims work actually when you're working for a provider. So having all of that building there has been really strong. And again, just looking forward to the rest of this year, really.
Yeah, and as we expand as well on our lending and insurance capabilities in the network, we've found that all areas of product are basically specialists. Specialists now being the hot topic word of this podcast, I think. All of our advisors are specialists in what they do with their different complexities and the things they can get, and things can get really complicated.
Collaboration matters more too, more now too. So lending, insurance, they can't work in silos. Like we've already said, we really need to be able to make sure that as a network, by the pun, as the right mortgage network, we are using our network. You can pay to go to BNIs, you can pay to go to networking events, but actually in the teams that we've got, you've got all of these specialists there, all with their own clients. And if we start working together, building on it, whether it's you selling it yourself and speaking to a specialist that's already doing it and helping and supporting and learning off them, they will help and support you as much as possible. So it's just all about that, isn't it? It's about not really working in those silos.
Completely agree. And the best customer outcomes happened when those customers and conversations are joined together, which is exactly why we like to see customer types in our network. And you'll find that at all of our different events and things that we do is like we're not trying to focus on one particular product, we're trying to look at customers.
So we're well into 2026 now. Goals are being hit. We're really excited, and things are getting busy heading into the summer. Let's get into the rest of the year and beyond. We've got lots of things to come, and we're looking forward to it. So, Victoria, what's next for lending?
Well, as you all know, we like to keep things really busy here at the network as well, with plenty of things going on behind the scenes as well as everything that you can see. You will have seen we've brought on more lenders this year and plan to diversify even more. So we're always open to looking to more solutions that are available for you as our advisors. So make sure you make the most of the options that we have available. But if there are things that you might think are missing, I can't see how we've got nearly 120 lenders. But if you do, please reach out, let us know. Like with the addition of banks like Handelsbanken, who really do things differently, we're really looking to expand and make sure we're covering all those areas. Outside of our right roundup webinars as well that we have every month, that we used to be our sales webinars, but they're kind of the roundup now of the different product areas that we've got going on. We also started our mortgage insider webinars, which go through key topics. This is held by Robin, as Amy mentioned before. She is our mortgage development manager. And then the next one that she's got coming up is about high net worth customers and the quirky bespoke things that lenders have going on there. So these are on the particular topics that she's helping unpick and really help our advisors get into. Also, without giving too much away, we will soon be launching something very, very, very exciting with regards to new build. There is more to come on this soon, but I will let you know there is going to be a massive support there. With it being such a big area, obviously it's a lot of talks and everything with like the government and different things like that, and all the new houses that are being built. We want to really try help you in those areas. So watch this space there. And that is me trying to narrow it down. I could really keep going, like the work that's going on with later life lending at the moment. And then we're going to help making research on this customer type even more streamlined with our systems. But I will stop there because, as you know, there's literally multiple things going on all the time that we can talk about, but we've got to give you something to look forward to. What about you in the insurance side?
Probably on a very similar rant of many things that we've got going on. The board never stopping coming up with new ideas between the product team coming up with new ideas. We've got a lot. I'll start with private medical insurance because there's so much going on there. We're looking at, or we're already in the process, you may already have it by the time this podcast comes out, with building in the PMI full process into Acre, matching that with looking at new quoting engines and the way that we're kind of making sure that everybody's getting the most efficient service they possibly can. Alongside that, speaking to providers, we've got a couple of exciting things coming out around our commission deals as well, and different deals for customers that we've got coming in H2. So there's so much there in the PMI side. Then with protection, GI, we're just constantly trying to innovate and think about new ways to talk to customers and new products to think about and enhancing the conversations that we're having. There may also be a few new exciting things coming out in the new year. No, in H2 again, around commission, around different propositions that we've got available to our advisors, and ensuring that you're getting the best the most appropriate level of support for what it is that you're trying to achieve, whether you're a protection specialist, a mortgage advisor who loves talking about protection, or a mortgage advisor that might need a little bit of help getting that kind of level of confidence and maybe enthusiasm, if we're all honest with ourselves, when talking about protection. And GI, the home insurance, ASU, looking at building those new, we've got a new hub for ASU coming along. We've got new full sales process as well. So that's matching the market's pace in the ASU, in the rent protect, and then in the home insurance. So as I said, there's just too much to even try and want to write down, but you can listen to us babble on about it for hours. So
As you can tell as well, we're very passionate about our different areas. So we do love to get involved in these different things that we have going on. And there's so much more to come. And that's without even talking about as well our next series of roadshows that are happening this month, like I already mentioned. We still have another set as well before the end of the year. So as well as our business leaders series that are going on. So even with all these different developments, we've got lots of chances as well to be able to see you. But these events are literally all for you. And if you love the way they're ran, or if you want to share about things, how they can be different, we're really in the planning stages now of next year. Obviously, with it being nearly June, we're in June, we're looking at next year. And so if you've got feedback, you think about different ways things can happen or develop different ideas, we really want to hear from you. So like what we say with these different podcasts that we have going on, all of what we do is for you. So please feed it back. We want to be able to help.
and make the most of the support calls that you get from Abby and her team in the support team and the customer advisor support team. So Abby will be calling round, or Abby and her team will be calling round this next couple of months to talk about events. And I can't stress enough, please be as honest with her as possible. We're all tough here at DRM. We all love real feedback. So if you don't want to come to events because you don't like going to face-to-face events, but you love a webinar, please let us know. Please be honest. We won't be offended, but we can then tailor it and build it to you. And we take all of our feedback on board. So we're always listening. And Victoria, don't forget as well, we have got our Platinum Club event for our top earning firms and our Evening of Excellence in the summer. which we can't wait. And these are really special events that we want everyone to strive to be able to get to, whether that's the Platinum Club or the Evening of Excellence. They're both great days out for our firms that are particularly, from a commissions perspective, doing well. So please do see those and try and engage and speak to us as much as possible.
They are very exciting. They're something we started last year as well. So it's something we really want to say with thank you back. But it doesn't just stop there. We've also got a Women's Day event that we've got coming up before the end of the year as well. So we've got lots going on to be able to highlight various areas of excellence, really. But there's also, again, not to mention, gosh, we've got so much. And also not to mention the Later Life Lending Conference, Gala Dinner, and PMI Workshop and Ball to conclude the end of this year. So yeah, watch your space for the second half.
Well, we do like to keep busy, don't we? And we are trying to continually do things, as we said, to improve what we're doing. So Victoria just mentioned about the Women's Day. It's actually a Women's Excellence of Financial Services. So if you're interested in attending and you're listening, either as a woman that has something that they want to say, or as a man, or as
Male ally.
where you want to be able to get things across and you want to be able to communicate with TRM and really talk about it, we're here and we want you to be able to come and get the most out of those. So please do speak to myself, Victoria, any of the events team, and we'll make sure that we're all registered and you can attend them.
Yeah, but Amy, I think that's all we have time for today. So it's literally been so exciting to go through everything with you and what's to come this year, what's already happened this year as well. I appreciate that you love podcasts and you're here with me today, so I really appreciate that you're on here. So thank you for taking the time out to go through things. And thank you very much as well to our podcast and listeners who are always following what we've got going on. Like we say, we're doing this all for you. But Amy, I've got one more fire round question for you before we go. What do you want your team to be known for this year?
I want my team to be known this year. Is that a good enough answer?
Yeah, makes sense.
I want everyone to know we're here. And I think sometimes we can be the best kept secret where you only kind of tap into the resource when you need it, or if you're stuck, or if you've got a hard to place case. We're so much more than that. We understand that advisors working on their own, it can get lonely. It can get lonely. And this is why a lot of my team, Victoria's team, the customer service team, your account managers, we're all here to bounce ideas off, obviously, specifically related to PMI, related to protection, related to home insurance, general insurance, ASU. But we're here if you just want to chat, if you want support, if you want to just talk through a case, if you need anything, please give us a call and just use us, because we want the phones to ring as much as we want to ring out on those phones. So that would be my thing. What about you?
Yeah, and we, as you may have seen as well, the product team all have direct dials now as well, so you can literally call everybody specifically. But yeah, very much echoing what you've said, really. Like the team are doing a great job at the moment, and they really want to be there for you. So they are amazing with what they do. But I want them, what I want my team to be known for this year is to know that they've been there for you. So that's basically exactly the same as what Amy said, where you know they are, and you don't have the same, not to talk about others, apparently we have the most support that there is available in different networks and different products, but it's because we care about making sure that you have that dedicated support all of the time as well. So, and much like many of our teams in the whole of the network, like everybody is here to chat. They all want to be with you. Nobody's sitting in an ivory tower to be separate. We try and make the most of coming to everything to be able to speak to you all and really get to know everybody. But yes, as I said, before we carry on even more, we're going to have to round off there. So I'm Victoria Clark, Head of Lending at the Network, and I've been your host for today in the Right Mortgage Network's Opportunity Podcast. I've been joined today by Amy Wilson, Head of Insurance. Thank you today for listening on the podcast. I look forward to chatting with you again soon, and thank you for joining, Amy.
Thank you for having me. Bye.